Hi, Dan Morphew, Regional Director with Card Payment Solutions. I want to take just a second and introduce one of my most successful agents, and that's Dave Osborne, who has worked with me and with Card Payment Solutions for about the last 4 years. And I'd like to just kind of have a little give and take here so Dave can kind of give you an idea of how he got started in the industry and how he used our experience to help him do just that. Dave, thank you so much for joining me. I had the pleasure of meeting you a number of years ago. You had no experience in the credit card industry itself, but I could tell that you definitely had the ability to be successful. Talk a little bit about your initial efforts and how you got started.
Necessity. Started looking for a job, and there wasn't any place that I felt that I could go and benefit my family and myself greatly quickly. Was looking for a job that had a lot of flexibility, that I could work my own schedule, do my own thing, but had an unlimited growth potential, had unlimited income potential, and had long-term income potential.
Absolutely. I'm interested in knowing and sharing how you decided what your game plan would be. In other words, you had sales experience and you had a network of some people that you could talk to, so there were some soft landings in there. But give me an idea of how you set out to get started.
The main thing I looked at when I was doing it is I learned the skill from you guys that basically 30 calls a day would result in 4 or 5 meaningful conversations. Those 4 or 5 meaningful conversations would turn into 2 or 3 accounts.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about just you and I and how I was able to help you and how that benefited you.
When I started in the business, I knew absolutely nothing about credit cards. So it was every 2 minutes, Dan, I need this. Dan, what's this? Dan, how do you do that? That slowly decreased over time, but I still use Dan quite a bit. The great thing is he's one phone call away. Cell phone, office phone. Usually you can get him at one of the two, but he's really great at answering the call and getting you the information that you need so that you can be in front of a customer and make a phone call, the answer's right there, and get right back to your customer.
I think the important thing there is that early on you're going to have a lot of questions.
Absolutely.
And what we strive to do, and I hope we're able to do with you, obviously that you've been very successful in the business, so I think it's safe to say that we were able to do that. But to answer those questions up front and encourage you or let you know that there was no such thing as a question that was too small or assistance that was too large. So, and I can remember telling you this actually, you're going to talk to me a lot over the next few weeks or few months, but I can tell you from experience that the more you have success, the fewer questions you'll have for me. And of course that's proved to be true. We still rely on each other a great deal, but I want to kind of stress to the folks looking at the video now that we definitely are here. We have a saying, if you jump, we will catch you. And I hope that you testify to that if you could.
Absolutely. One of the things that I learned is, initially it was really all the rate stuff and all the number stuff was overwhelming. So one of the things I tried to do was not focus on the rates. I focused on selling myself. I focused on selling card payments. I focused on the service. The rates just came naturally. Once you start getting those online statements, your billing statements, you send those in for the analysis. Basically, you don't have to have a lot of knowledge about the rates. You take that proposal out. The first one I did, I knew absolutely nothing about it, but the proposal sold itself. I could save the merchant money. That was what he was interested in. He wanted to do business with a local person, and that was how I gained my customer.
The one thing that I want to focus on here is the relationship component of sales. Now you told me when you first got started that of course you didn't understand the rate structure and you had many more questions. I refer a lot of times to new agents getting what I call paralysis by analysis, where they feel like they need to know everything that there is to know about the industry before they can actually get in front of a customer. And I always tell them, look, if you'll go out and develop the relationships and let us help you, call us from the location. Call me with any question that you have. We'll talk to your customer. We'll answer your questions. But I think that you're living proof of what I'm saying there, and that rather than try to absorb everything about the equipment or about the rates or about the things that are focusing on the things that you felt weak in, you went out and focused on developing the relationships and letting us assist you with that.
Absolutely. Once you start visiting with the customer, you get that feedback from them. Once you start talking about what issues they have, you're going to quickly find that it's not the rates. Anybody can be competitive with the rates. That's not the competition. The competition is service. Competition is you being able to go out there and relate to your customers, find out what their needs are. After visiting with one of the customers for 10 or 15 minutes, I found out the rates weren't important to him at all. It was basically the equipment was the issue with him. He was paying $42 a month in a rental,
Right.
and that was what made him tick. That was all he needed to know, is I could help him out with the equipment. The rates that he paid didn't matter.
You'd also talked a little bit about the rewards of working in this industry. Up front, obviously there's some sweat equity involved, but talk to me a little bit about the residual component and how that's treated you over the last several years.
Initially, it is tough because you're not getting a lot of residual income. That's why it's real important for you to be out making those calls. The main income that you're going to generate is off of equipment, and off of the setup fees, off of that initial bonus money that you get. So initially, it's very important that you're making a lot of calls, making a lot of contacts, and having a lot of business relationships. Over time, those residuals build up, and it gives you the flexibility of not having to work as hard to get that money.
It's nice to know that you've got that ongoing residual in place month in and month out. So the pressure of meeting certain sales goals, it provides you with a great deal of flexibility in your personal life and from a financial standpoint, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a guaranteed income.
Yeah, and that, to me, that was the appeal that truly attracted me to this business to begin with. To wrap this discussion up, one of the things that I'd like to stress is that get out and develop the relationships. You can use Dave as a role model in that case, because he literally was completely green to this industry coming in, and he's enjoyed a great deal of success, primarily because of his efforts, but I like to feel that we were certainly a significant part of that. And the one thing that I'm going to leave with you here is that if you develop the relationships and let us help you with the questions, get out, get in front of the people, let us assist, that you'll find that this industry is truly a place for you to be and for you to prosper. Thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it.